We are here to celebrate the release of Rob's first full-length poetry book, Jagged Tune. It is just out from MadHat Press. It is $18 retail, but we are selling copies over here for $15 tonight. So get one. We can accept credit cards. It is inspired by his life growing up in the sweltering heat of San Antonio, where he's worked in jails, bars, corporate offices, hotels, universities, hospitals, retail stores, restaurants, and on cruise ships. Experiences that informed his blue-collar, transgressive writing style. In 2010, which apparently is hilarious, in 2010 he received his MFA in creative writing from Virginia Tech University. And the next sentence says he teaches at Florida State University, is working on his PhD here, and is married to Samantha. I guess you all knew that already. His poems have appeared in Alaska Quarterly, the American Poetry Review, Ninth Letter, Painted Bride Quarterly, Passages North, Southern Poetry Review, Southwestern, on Verse Daily, and recently in Rattle. Rob Talbert.
Announcements. Attention customers. The store will close in 15 minutes. Sooner or later, we all return home. We close tonight because all things end. Songs, an empire, most love. This sentence ends. Do not mistake this for proof of God. Do not look the employees in the eye. Some have been hit by a hurricane of dreams. Your staring, your small talk, remind them cement around their ankles is drying, that 1 trillion heartbeats have come and gone. Minimum wage is a deeply planted knife. Beeping registers haunt us in our sleep. Attention customers, please make your final selections and bring them to the front of the store for purchase. This goes for lost children, the penniless, the heartbroken, shoplifters, the man in aisle 9 exposing himself to his girlfriend. What we do in our minds is a dark carnival of mirrors and sharp candy, hidden rampage where the fire burns hottest. I have devastated friends, family. I have no right to my anger, paralysis, starvation, no desolate landscape to contend with. But you drive safe. Take care. Never forget the promises that you made to yourself. Advice like that is safe. Most of the things on our shelves can kill. Certainty without the word certainty. A man approaches a bar. This is a sentence. His movements and desires for rum. Each step met with a new word, and how many people watch him defines the reign of what to call it. A man approaches the bar and creates a storm. I hold avocados in the market, and I am rephrased by other shoppers as a man wishing he'd stayed in Tijuana. I often wish I'd stayed in Tijuana. A man approaches the bar and doesn't need this moment explained. Perhaps the shunning of better language is just another way we are polite in public. The inaccuracy intentional. And I was like, see that guy? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I bet he's going through some stuff. I don't need drink to reach for one, nor lust to be delirious about a woman's hips, but perfect and careen and lever that moves the world are fine substitutions for both. When we rolled around in the night South Dakota grass, that lost faraway girl must solicit other words for rolling around in the night South Dakota grass. Her hands a different size than my hands, her direction to wind alternate to my own. The memory is never mindful of its palace or place, depending on your affinity for the letter A. After all, if only the right memories and sentences stuck around, our heads would be a Taj Mahal, which was also built for a lost, faraway girl. A man approaches the bar, and I build a palace in my head. And I was like, man, this guy must have been really hurt when she died. And he was like, yeah. Cherries becoming more like cherries. Listen, the space you take up now opens, inhales. slow like a praying monk at high altitude, balloons, becomes a vow with flesh pooling out from the center, an O without a pit and ready for the tongue. Speak a name, any name, and unleash fruit, sweet as a body moving toward its caller. Go especially easy on the asthmatics. Their lives depend on every yes. My life depends on night, the difference between she and I. How easy a time the wind has with her, with the windows down, the tangle of roads tracing every place skin flies, above abrasion, above the legal posted limit. And the road is more than a blur of mile markers and grass, is for an instant relevant. The Pacific is relevant because it can be entered, reached, occupied and made more. You are more right here and right here. You are more than gravity because gravity has no body, has nothing to take its shape. Gravity is kissless. It will never call you for drinks. Even the dead have shape. But gravity only tugs on cherries, on the feet while the car banks too fast on turnpikes. If you've ever driven far enough from a city, then the largest O you've ever seen is the arm of the galaxy, smooth and patient, a midnight of presence, a miracle of enough time. There is always an hour ready to hold you, like this one, a place in the room for refuge, molding all movements and memory. This, exactly, what has become of you? Method. I took a cab down Commerce Street. I took a cab and walked down from the mall. There's a cover at Citrus. I took a cab and the mall was closing. Down Commerce Street, I paid a cover. I waved at a cab, but it didn't stop. The street lit up like a satin ribbon. Citrus was lit like a commerce of satin. Her dress reigned in the land of small shoulders. Her dress was caught in the cab door. I walked to Citrus where there was a cover. The mall was a dark box made of unbought things. A ribbon went around my wrist. A cab turned around on Commerce Street. I walked to Citrus and the street was closing. The sky was a dark mall. The sky was a dark mall. The sky was a cab door shut on a dress. Her hips moved like ribbon blown into the street. I drank from the mall of lit bottles. The world will never end. Accountability. It rains and then it stops. Then it rains and then it stops. When I think of a storm, I think persistence, alive as rumor. But the storm outside is not my definition, stopping and starting and stopping again, like a prowling animal with broken instincts. If I don't know a storm, what else have I defined too narrowly, judged too quickly? Which people do I remember wrong or not at all? How I prefer the world made bearable. I was in love once. That's a lie I tell myself over the fence of my own body to wash away the million times I did love into a context that I can handle. And I lie about being okay with my life so far and so much that my wife is concerned about my drinking. Some days the morning sun slams into the hills so brilliantly, I think the land might sing, but then someone lays on the car horn outside and I listen to that instead. Cutting away is a form of survival, a way of coloring within the lines. Otherwise, there's no room for anything. I stop here. I start here. And once in Bermuda, I discovered my own name carved into a church. Approaching 30. It is next to impossible to be left alone. And I'll never get a decent job if wandering around shopping malls full of liquor and codeine is my answer when they ask me, what do you do for fun? The weak number in the millions. The weak bury their heads in blame and preach on the altar of customer service. I hear a song stream down from the tiled and wired heavens, but I can't tell what it is. and the next instant it's gone. And I can't remember how that song went. You know, it's strange to remember a thing. It's strange to not remember a thing, but remember the love I had for it. The finite volume of my life flies tremendous, and I struggle to catch it, like the last firefly in the smog that has buried our cities. What practice makes? The fence behind the house is clenched teeth, where sparrows and wildflowers go to get eaten. The world keeps going, but we don't know for whom. Our neighbor has been gone for years, either hit by a train or consumed with love. Tired weather in the field defines the nature of our hours, with dark river clouds or the immortal sun. Either way, it gets us moving. You hang the clothes on the line to get dusty and dry. I've driven more nails into the leaning porch. What quiet dinners we have, blaming it all on our busy day, while our disillusioned neighbor wanders around out there in the world trying to get his life better. I know there are dreams that wash over the bed, and the horizon moves like a hula hoop when no one is looking. Sometimes I'm breathing a prayer so honest it beats my heart for it, though I never know what it says or what the hell I should do next. Such is the way of breath turning to wind. And how strange that renewal is never pure. How skilled all our hands are, quietly turning out the bedside lamp. The fields. At the ends of your life is a field. When the office closes for the night, or the restaurant deadbolt locks, when the shower curtain glides closed, or when the bedroom light goes out, there is a field waiting and overflowing with mice. They busily collect the fragments of you. They build intricate nests from the grass of how the fuck could you, and the drugs and the jokes and the liquor and the jobs and the you will never find another like me keep the mice warm and heavy with sleep. It all goes there, your anger, your reticent hope. The mice may even dream in your ruins. Every day you live is bookended with a field like this, dividing the body from the aftershock, the twilight hour of washing dishes while the sun is dragged, kicking and screaming over the hills, the way all of us are dragged, kicking and screaming out of love. That heavy and uncompromising machine, a rusted, derelict tractor in the memory. Navigation. I have become convinced that there is no devastating train of epiphany thundering down in the night. But still I don't sleep. And the monarchs flutter in from the south on currents that prove knowing one's purpose is not an invention of people. I only follow the currents I do because they've betrayed me the least. The city skyline is one, lit up like an electric birthday cake. And the traffic, too, streaming by the apartment and hushing with intent. All of it is there, watching, and trying to get its message through. But few people remember their pounding hearts, and even then it's only once in a while. Like a migration, like writing something only felt, going on in trust until the world forgets to continue. Galloping. A scene of constant tearing stares back onto the porch. Talons enter flesh, flesh enters mouths. This happens without mercy, without guilt. I can never leave the apartment in this exact body, this precise thought, but not because of what happens in the trees. I take shelter in my own forest of memory, I'm here and 12 years old, kissing a girl in church, in the dark streets of Stratford, England, closing a phone booth door. I'm in Texas, in my car. My sister is swarmed by cops. Life is something merely traded, explored and then given back like a lover's body. The moon possesses the kind of stealth that others reserve for a crime. Nailed to all our lives, the moon holds on as we hold on, as the blunt weapon of the world smashes into the future. A backyard party rolls nearby on loose axles. From there becomes a cry, and the sound of a kiss, a hive of slipped attempts. Police lights open their eyes, and the moon listens from so high up. All our whispers make one song. Thank you for listening.